with a Monday morning with a Monday morning comedy club. I know who stole your testosterone. I do. Cheers to countermeasures because your testosterone, it's getting stolen from you at a alarming rate. This is how I know that this fact is true. Men behaving more so like women, and women having kind of a lot of testosterone. Kind of a lot. By saying kind of a lot, I'm talking about measuring it not in ppm, parts per million. I'm talking about measuring it in parts per 10. 6 parts per 10 is her lady boner. She's got too much testosterone. Cheers, ladies, to the gruff and the alpha females who are sexually angry as if they've got blue balls. Did you just say blue balls and females? Oh, when you've got a giant set of balls and a pancake booby, you're going to be angry. Welcome to Good Morning Comedy. Welcome. Are you doing pretty well? I hope that you're doing fantastically well because we're going to get into topic number 2. The unemployment rate. So, good job, you guys, for watching this before work. Good job, you guys. Because we, as the employed people, we can make fun of the unemployed people. Why? Because right now, the majority of Americans that are in major cities that are women are unemployed. Why is this? One, remember, this is going to be the comedy of triples. One, doesn't think she should work in the service industry. Two, thinks because she eats out that being a server has got to be the easiest job ever. Three, thinking that, hey, I had a great job 3 years ago. I want that same job again. It's similar to this parallel. This is not a metaphor, which is I dated a great guy in 2019. It's 2026. I want a guy that's at least that good as I had in 2019. That's not how sexual market value works. That's not how job market value works. That's not how any of it works. Just because you had one good year in 2016 doesn't mean 10 years later you deserve the same pay, the same benefits, the same guy that you had back when you were 24. You're 34 now. Cheers to your dirty 30s. Think about this as a mental exercise. Just because your 2012 or 2014 were good years, that doesn't automatically entitle your brain for reparations to your putty, where you're now going to say, oh, well, I'm going to need at least a middle 6 figures earner having at least 7 figures in the bank, right? Being able to adjust your standards is hard for the entitled gender. This is still Monday comedy, but it's 100% accurate. Let's expand on what I'm talking about. You see, entitlement is where you feel like one year you had one good year, and therefore every year afterwards that's what you deserve. Because here's the plot spoiler, here's the crystal ball, here's the active prediction, is that one year that you did make a lot of money or did date that guy who was really cool to you and was really rich, you did not deserve that, yet you still cast it off thinking that you could do better. This is in private equity and venture capital called the bigger, better deal. The bigger, better deal is always the grass is greener. Which gender has, oh, that grass, it must be greener on her mind? Which gender? Cheers to this male to female exercise where what this feminist movement needed was a masculine guy that you used to label toxic. Oh, the person who made this green tea, genius. You see, you called it toxic. You see, you called it masculinity. And when you combine the two words together, it's a psychological operation. The Sebastopol protocol, the captured brain, the psychological operation of men and women behave differently when it comes to brainwashing. How are you with your brain? Is it getting washed right now or is it getting cleansed? Because this is a truth that I know, which is that 7, 9, or 3 red pills turns into 1 black pill. So we know what the red pill is. And I hesitate because some of you guys don't know the difference between a red pill or a blue pill. Because swallowing 2 to 9 red pills turns your brain into black pill. When you've got a blue pill, that's where you believe that the government's helpful. That's where you believe that women are the fairer sex. That's where you have these beliefs that are la-la beliefs. But here's the problem, is YouTube allows red pill de facto content, which is where you're explaining, hey, this is how women equally behave poorly to men. But when men behave poorly, it's ginormously amplified. But when women behave badly, that's hidden. And that's the capture of did you take COVID, the beer virus vaccine? Look, I even have to say beer virus because saying it's the coronavirus would initially get your channel shadow banned. I'm not shadow banned. I'm just not popular. I'm not shadow banned. I'm just talking about what's that complex called that's a city in Europe? I'm going to ask AI. What's the complex called for when the person who gets kidnapped joins the kidnappers? Stockholm Syndrome. I'm so American. We need to have a thing that is Stockholm Syndrome. We should just call it Washington, D.C. Syndrome. Stockholm Syndrome, it affects men different from women. And I'm tying it back to the red pill. Blue pill. Blue pill is somebody kidnapped you, you're always going to hate them. The red pill is the kidnappers you fall in love with. Stockholm syndrome. The people who stole you from your family or your corporation, you end up falling in love with them and then joining them because your brain gets washed. It's a syndrome initially called Stockholm syndrome. Stockholm syndrome affects men different from how it affects women. Stockholm syndrome. This is multiple red pills turns it into a black pill because men experiencing the attempt to Stockholm syndrome you just says, no, 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 no. I don't even know stock. I'm not homo and I'm not going to get syndrome. It's going to be 0 for 3. No stock, no homo, no syndrome, no Stockholm syndrome. Stockholmo syndrome. Men aren't going to go for that. They're going to take a different route. That route, it's called the black pill. Here's the problem with the black pill. Here's the problem with it is that you're going to feel like you swallowed something and it's not going down very smoothly. You see, it's not like the jagged orange pill. Once you swallow it, you're like, oh, that was actually helpful. A black pill, you're going to have to swallow and re-swallow, and then you're going to have a gag reflex trying to throw it up, and then you're going to have to re-swallow. Have you ever swallowed your own vomit after it's come out of your mouth and hit the sidewalk? That's what it's like trying to swallow the jagged black pill that's going up, down, up, down, up, down your throat, your esophagus, and your stomach. Why is it like that? And what is the jagged orange pill? The jagged orange pill is Bitcoin knowledge. Once you understand it, everything begins to make sense. The black pill, which is jagged and large, is going into your soul and making everything black. That's the black pill. So, an example of the black pill is guys that refuse to eat out, and guys who refuse to go socialize, and guys who refuse to date women or men or date at all because they're just going to go into hermit mode. They've got no wherewithal to socialize. They're not doing group activities. They're weeding, smoking weed, vaping. They're watching porn, masturbating. They are playing video games. It's trying to unplug from the world, where I recommend you go 0 for 5 with that being drug. Oh, and then don't forget the biggest drug of all, alcohol. The biggest drug of all. Let's go. Let's go. So, alcohol is by far the biggest drug. And people who are still on alcohol, that's not good. That's not good. Do you know who drinks a lot of alcohol from Trader Joe's? That would be females, claiming that wine has some kind of benefit. It doesn't. Claiming that alcohol is just a part of the human experience. It's not. It's not. Comedy, which is how often do you rely on the drug called seed oil? Because seed oil, it tastes so good. It tastes so good. on the downside, on the upside, on the swallowing part. But on the defecation pooping part, not so good. Not so good. When you're door dashing food, how much of that food is actually food? Or is it a chemical engineer generated poop show of poop? Alcohol is badass. Straight disrespect to the living condition. Hugs to you if you're not able to mitigate your alcohol consumption. Hugs to you if you can't quit alcohol. Hugs to you on this Monday morning. Welcome. My name's Larry Chiang. I need to introduce myself. My channel's on what they don't teach you in school, and this is Comedy Club. We're doing Comedy Club because some of the truths are so painful that we're going to need to mitigate them with a little bit of humor. But this type of humor, it's not where it's, oh, 10% true, 90% jester. Oh no, this is 100% true and sometimes funny. Moving along to Girl Boss. Girl bosses are currently under siege right now because I would say half of girl bosses are not employable. When you're a girl boss and you don't even have a job and you're not even in the game, are you even a boss or a girl anymore? Now you might question, but Larry, girl bosses will always be female and feminine. That's arguable. That's arguable because the more angry you get at being tricked into applying for a fake job with fake employment that's faking everything, you're going to get more and more angry because you got to get all prepared, or you're showing up at a job interview, no makeup, 15 minutes late, with no shot at gainful employment. Plus, this is another dynamic that men are more adapt to, which is, can you take a step back in your career? Can you take a 9 steps forward, 15 steps back mentality? Do you even know the difference? Do you even know the difference? Do you know that you're going to have to make up that difference? But this is what people have done since time began, which is 16 steps forward and 10 steps back. So with the mental dynamic of being able to be either alpha or beta, this is prevalent on a sports team, which is in the waning years of your career, are you going to mitigate your athletic participation by taking a lesser role on the team? Are you? And some people, they don't realize that if you're in a stratospheric rising incident, everybody that you see on the way up, you're also going to see on the way down, which is being able to realize this fact. Girl boss, stratospherically climbing. What nobody reminded women of that were girl bosses is, which is this. Combining the fact that on the rise, you're also going to see the fall. Okay, so in a stratospheric rise, this is as simply as I can put it. Everybody that you meet on the way up during your stratospheric rise as a girl boss, you're going to meet on the way down. Dog Tier International wants to call in. I can set up a thing for you. You're going to have to be on camera, initially pop a selfie, and then send that to me, because it's not just a call-in number, it's a video appearance number. So we're going video to video. Go ahead and email a selfie to 650-283-8008. Did you get that number? 650-283-8008. That's the pre-call-in number before I send you a link, so that way you participate. Welcome to this participation. Which is difficult to do, sneezing in a girl's face. But that's my training. Who had a good weekend? Did you have a good weekend? Did you have a good weekend? True story. I spent my last $35, Larry, to sit next to you. What? Which is women trying to throw Hail Marys for LinkedIn contacts. Women are getting desperate out there. It's not pretty. Women should not be throwing this much energy towards a thing, towards a gainful employment. It's the desperation of yikes, I have no shot. It's the overt energy of, hey, maybe I need to change my methodology and move my online presence into the real world. Online Instagram, bad. Online LinkedIn, completely useless. Online Reddit and internet, not good at all. Not good at all. IRL job hunting. In real life, it's still going to be a poop show, because there is fiat fake everything. That's Web 4 and Web 3. So what is fake and fiat? It's where you think that America is in a capitalist system, but in fact, it's massively communist. And when it's massively communist, massively socialist, the people who are bearing the brunt of the work, they're going to get black-pilled. Remember, 3+ red pills is a black pill. Here's a couple of red pills, which is family court. Men get screwed in family court. Why? Because the judicial system is meant to reward women that break the covenant of marriage. When one party is financially incentivized to break the business agreement, which is what a marriage license and contract is, when one of the parties is financially incentivized to break it, what's going to happen? If you follow the financial incentives, I will show you the behavior. So when women are rewarded to be divorced with overpayments in child support and a family court system that is set up to subsidize female bad behavior, that's a red pill concept where men are saying, I've never been married before. I don't think that that's the best financial choice for me, which is marriage. When the message is held for review, you should text. You should text in. Are you afraid to appear on camera because you're fat? That's cool. Busted. No, seriously, if you want to appear, let's chat. Which is this. Send in your video 650-283-8008. You're fat. Why haven't you texted a selfie that's a video selfie with a video message? Do you not live in America? Do you not have internet? Because the way it's going to go is it's going to be a YouTube live. I know. Have you seen my YouTube lives? Have you seen my YouTube lives where I interview people? They're pretty good. They're pretty good. Or continue to watch and enjoy Red Pill. So, family court, divorce. When men started to share this information with other men, the internet started to melt down. And now the Overton window, which is the regulatory window for men sharing information with other men, is shifted. Because before, when you would share this information, you would get banned or shadow banned. Now it's changed. It's changed, but because it's changed, people are getting used to what young people in Gen Z are doing with this information, which is, oh, I didn't know that this is the system that you're entering into. Here's another system that is red pill, which is when you go to college, you may be in debt forever. 283-8008. So when people study, hey, what's something I should be paying attention to? Family court. Hey, what's something I should be paying attention to? Pluralistic nature of women having multiple options. Red pill truth of, hey, I didn't know that women want to cheat as much as men want to cheat. It's just one big cheat fest. There's a word for it within the red pill community. It's something gammy. Eurogamy, not polygamy. This guy named Rollo Tomasi, who's a red pill influencer, Rollo Tomasi's favorite word. So you could say that college is gay, but the content that they teach you in college is not gay. Hypergamy. Hypergamy. The other word that is hilarious from red pill content is indignation, where where is your woman trying to just be angry all the time? Does she have indignation? Let's pray real quick. Father Lord, let's be thankful that we're healthy, happy, and intelligent on this Monday morning. Thank you also, Lord, for this promise where two or more are gathered in your name that you will appear. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. So you can say that college is gay. You can say that. But what you cannot say, because you're being a cognitive miser, a lazy mother scratcher, is engineering content in college is incredibly valuable. So when you black pill knowledge, you're screwed. Because while you don't need the college degree, you definitely need at least the three laws of thermodynamics, which they actually teach in high school. So when you say that college classes are gay, you're saying that you're retarded. Oh my God, this is the best video I've ever made. Thank you for being guests and witnessing. You know what else is gay right now? Church. A lot of church. Because it's filled with women who just went through the epiphany phase. Have you been to church lately? It's just women showcasing the fact that, oh, I don't like anything except for Jesus. There's nothing more scary. There's literally nothing more scary. In fact, first three-way was at church. Keep going to church. I don't want to do damage. I don't want to do damage. Keep going to church. But there are some churches where the women. Is that why you go to church? Be honest. Is that why you go to church? Be honest. The epiphany phase after hypergamy. It goes like this. This is actually orange pill knowledge, which is the next person I have sex with, it's going to be space shuttle sex. It's going to be perfect sex. It's going to be the kind of sex that is going to lead to marriage. I've only been with 120 guys. When you're I don't know what a baseline reset is, and I don't think that that's how body count works. Is you can't pray the 122D away. Like that's that's prostitutorial misconduct. Do you see why people love these YouTube lives? Because I'm coming up with these jokes on the fly. So when you say you go for a baseline reset, you can't reset her BC. You can't reset her 150D in her mouth or her hand. You can't reset. There's no hymen to reattach. There's no butt hymen in saying, oh, well, it was in the butt. That doesn't count. Oh, it all counts. It all counts. So your blue pill Pollyanna, where you're thinking that just because she now loves Jesus, that's a passion of coincidence and necessity. It's where oh, I've been with 500 dudes. If I just say I love Jesus, I get I get my I get my virgin hymen reattached. That's that's like a serial killer who kills 7. There you go. Someone's getting angry at truths. Someone's getting angry at truths. That's like the serial killer who's killed 700 innocent people, not during war, and then now says, oh, well, his blood cleanses me. Right? I think we're in agreement. Let's go. Red pill, orange pill, Web 12, Web 5. What are we talking about? Since this is Monday, let's come up with something useful and specific, which is this. We are on a platform that is social media. Social media is officially Web 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12. That's the numbering system, and Web 0. That's the numbering system for communication. So that way we're all on the same 6 pages, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12. It's this. Web 0 is email and postal mail. That's Web 0. Web 1 is internet pages, web pages. Web 2 is social media and the fatigue that people have from being on social media and doom scrolling. And the black pill of, you know what? I'm not even going to have Instagram on my phone anymore. A lot of people say that, and that's Web 2. Web 3 is a form of web which will never be fixed. That's called shitcoins. So with poop coins and shitcoins, no one's going to want shit for coins. Shit for coins. That's Web 3, is your Solana, your Ethereum, your whatever shitcoin. Shitcoin was a grab at cash and Bitcoin. Web 5 is actually what's next, which is the Bitcoin wave. Web 4 is fiat and fiat mining. Web 3, Web 4, Web 5 is crypto, Bitcoin. But the crypto of Web 4, that's where it gets insightful. Because it turns out a US CBDC, or a central bank digital currency, CBDC, central bank digital currency. When was the first year of a central bank digital currency? What was the first year? That would be the year 0. Coin clipping. That would be fake money. Fiat, where did you replace gold with a little bit of shit metal? What a good testimonial. I'm going to read that in a second before I finish Web 4. So, in 1971, 2 computers started to talk to each other, making up money that had nothing to do with gold or money. It was just 2 computers swapping ledger entries. That is Web 4, which is a central bank digital currency. A central bank digital currency isn't in the future. A central bank digital currency is 1971. There's a website to this. It's called What the Fuck Happened in 1971.com. That's a digital currency. That's a central banking digital currency. What's Web 5? That's Bitcoin. And if you don't understand it, I do have the time to tell you 2 sentences to explain it. Bitcoin is rules for money, no rulers. Meaning you don't need a ruler. It's just money. So it's funny to me how folks seem to dismiss these rants. You actually say more than most politicians. Ugh. Also, beware of Mexican women. They want what you have. Truer words were never spoken because the hustle from Latina women with that juicy puss, it's a hustle that is beyond hustle. It's kind of like South Korean women, Sarah Park, Lisa Kim, Alyssa Liu, Eileen Gu. Emma Mia Maya. What I just did was I just hit the grid with with three combo punches. This is the comedy of triples. Sarah Kim, Lisa Park, Emma Mia Maya. What these combo punches are doing, Alyssa Liu, Eileen Gu. What these combination punches are doing is helping you realize that women's brains are in a pretzel. It's leading to endometriosis. It's girl boss circular logic. It's female inability to perform a not even debate, but even discussion grounded in truth. It's the certification of, well, I was a marketing major, I know selling. What? What? Are you swapping the word marketing for selling? Because it's just business? So when you so when you so when you go into Eileen Gu, Alyssa Liu, you're not understanding that a gold medal is hard to win. This is me winning the gold here in this video where I culminated into Web 5, Web 5, Web 2, Bitcoin, Orange Coin, social media, to be this new internet, which is Web 12. And this is my ploy to get you to buy something for $0 and make unlimited money, which is, can you sum up this video in 12 sentences and publish a web page? So this is a web page. It's just a really long and cool web page. So instead of blackpilling, I stopped trying to understand women with my ex-wife. It's nonsense. So what are you talking about? It's okay. That's the only retarded thing. Well, actually, that's not true. You said 2 or 3 retarded things, and I forgive that. 12 sentences. Back on topic. 12 sentences. This is going onto a web page with multiple sets of 12 sentences. Will you do 12 sentences in a reaction to this video? Videos that do reaction videos are channels unto themselves. No one's yet done a Larry Chiang reaction video channel. I consent. I consent. What you're doing with a reaction web page is you're rejigging your brain to do what? To fix what is temporarily not working, which is Web 2. So what is Web 12? It's basically coming up with 12 sentences to slap onto a web page. Let's say you are intimidated by setting up a web page with hosting, with publishing, with the ease of publishing to your Insta brain rot via an app, because they actually have an app for you to easily publish web pages. This is Web 12 again, which is, what if you were to do long form reactions? This is how most people text right now. I'll say something genius like I've said in this video, and then people will say a one-word response, which is "do me," which is what Mexican women will sometimes say. They'll be, "Oh, would you like a sip of my drink? Would you like some alcohol? Would you like some food? Would you like the nice seat?" Like, really good at hustle. Really good at it. Really good at it. What we're doing is, in addition to being really good at networking, is this. And it's going to be juicy. I'm going to go rearrange and coordinate. Back after a 30-second break. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. As promised, as promised, as promised, as promised, delivering. Which is what we're doing is we're coming up with 12 sentences, because I used to think that writing a book report was for kids. I used to think that. I don't think that anymore. Things I used to think, Web 12 is a total joke. It is a joke, but it's the best kind of joke because it makes money. This is a ploy to you to understand a Y Combinator, which is, no, you're not going to make 12 trillion. Actually, you might make $12 trillion. Actually, you might. The concept of writing a book report on a video is the same concept as this question, which is, you've watched how many YouTube videos? Have you ever financially benefited from one YouTube video? Have you ever financially benefited? Have you? That's a question. Because if the answer to that is zero, that you've never financially benefited, that's a ginormous problem. Would you not agree? Four X's in Jesus Maxing. Whenever I'm feeling down, I turn on some Larry Chiang. My testosterone spikes 400%. That's so true. Stockholm Syndrome. This is the opposite of Stockholm Syndrome. Video 1 was 4X's in Jesus Maxing. Video 2, hashtag Vagina Whisperer. Video 3, The guy behind the hashtag guy. Video 4 for you. Breaking the habit of being retarded. You watch some good videos. Video 5. Larry Chiang is 11xing. Oh yeah, I teach black people how to do math in that video. 7:38 a.m. or $85 Derek Micro. Two girls, one cup. Video 8. Comedy code breaking. Video 9. Monday AM comedy clubbing is your video 10. What a good sequence. What a good sequence. What a good video sequence. The sequence of your videos. The sequence of your videos. I blame the economy. Just take a look at the pump. So, hyperinflation is going to be on top of us any moment now. Things I used to think that economic cycles were just cyclical. No, they're actually government caused. The boom and bust cycles are engineered to drive certain people into bankruptcy. This is a good time for me to tell you a simple truth, which is Duck 9, deeply understanding credit knowledge. That shit's free. That's my company. So all economics is trickle because economics is interconnected. The problem with the concept of trickle down economics is that you don't want to have money printing be at the beginning of the trickle down, which is trickle down without money printing does actually trickle down. Trickle down with money printing doesn't work. This is why. Because if you're standing closer to the money printer and the politicians who are issuing the newly printed cash, for example, printing money to go to war. Well, the people who first get the cash have an effect on money called the Cantillon effect for money. So when you say trickle down, I'm going to say, do you understand the Cantillon effect for money? Because trickle down actually would work in a Bitcoin based world. But then people are going to obfuscate that fact because then they'll say, well, those Bitcoin people, they just bought Bitcoin early. Well, it's rules for money without rulers. There's going to be some form of inequity because knowledge, it's not evenly distributed. The future, it's actually here. It's just not evenly distributed. But you get this video, and last time I checked, I don't have 50,000 views per video. I love it. Gold standard, paper notes, digital currencies. Paper notes, I hope, from my genius words into your paper notes scribed out. Things I used to think. I used to think that gold was a dumb rock. It still is. Because gold, it could get repossessed. Bitcoin, much, much, much harder to repossess. What are we doing? I'm saying good morning because I'm Larry Chiang and my channel is on what they don't teach you in school. And we're pre-gaming work with this, which is us being able to hang out and do what? It's to connect not just dots, but special colored dots. Connecting special colored dots. What color dots are we connecting? Orange ones, not gold ones. Let's get into something that we can't argue because some of it became philosophical, which is having 6.15 Bitcoin is your retirement plan. Things I used to think. I used to think that Social Security fund was a fund of Social Security. There is no money in that fund. It's a never green fund. An evergreen fund is there's always money there. A never green fund is a Ponzi scheme, which is you're relying on new people to pay into the fund, and the fund actually has no money. You're relying on young people to pay old people because somebody spent the Social Security fund. Somebody spent it. I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I'm just annoyingly educated. How are we going to benefit from this massive turmoil? Yeah, when you're saying that, you're saying that you're getting psychologically operated against because you're saying, oh, I heard Elon wants access to SS. There's no fund there to access. There's no fund there to access. There's no way to mismanage funds. Somebody pilfered the Fort Knox Gold Reserve. Somebody already stole all the money from the Social Security fund. Elon Musk is trying to get young people to be born because right now there's not enough young people to be born, and then that's what civilization collapse is where you don't have enough young people paying into Social Security, so that way Social Security can pay the people that it owes. So what we're doing here is we're doing the most basic things for arithmetic. Now, explain it to an urban woman. So this is the problem with something called 11x, which is this. Females are tricked into these three words that rhyme that are basically all unattainable, unobtainium. Here are the three words. Are you ready? They're magical words. This is answering your question. Now explain it to urban women. Here we go. Trillion, billion, million. Boom. Ask the decimal difference between the three. 90% of people I ask don't know the difference. They think it's all one giant dollar figure. Million, billion, trillion. So, million, billion, trillion. This is where it's Ebonics mathing. There are 11 X's in Ebonics. I'm the guy who came up with Ebonics maxing. There are 10 X's in that. There's also a concept where 12 X's, but I don't think you're ready for that. You're not even ready for 11 X's, which is, can you do some basic math, or do you think that the trillionaire should just pay for everything? Here's the problem with urban women argument is that there's always a bigger daddy to pay for things, meaning taxing trillionaire billionaires, pretty soon you run out of them to tax because there's not enough money. There's not enough money when you're stealing money. There's not enough money, which is why socialism has failed 100% of the time that it's tried. This is why communism has failed 100% of the time that it's tried. Why? It's this simple and dark truth. Things I used to think. I used to think utopia, it's possible. Utopia, a perfect world. The only perfect world is where it's mayhem and everybody is out serving their own self-interest. And we put the criminals in court and in jail if they're guilty. That's the only thing that works. Anything else is just fairy tales, kind of like the stories that homosexual people tell you about their origin story. Fairy tales, which is once you realize that an economy or a socialist economy, you're going to pretty quickly run out of trillionaires and billionaires. And then now you're going to have to go after a millionaire. And then there's not enough millionaires to steal from. Therefore, you're going to need to start killing people in the middle class. This happens from price controls. This happens when the government tries to take over a farm, because farming, it's not as easy as farming, just magic shit just growing. So when the government takes over, it's going to install an urban female at the top. That's how it looks. Look at what happens when you installed an urban female at the top of Los Angeles. It's a poop show of poop. Is there even water to fight a fire? No, because the whole concept is meant to burn it all down to the ground, and then someone's going to steal that land. This is right out of the playbook of, why are you watching this video and fighting me on it? Why are you watching this video and not liking this free content? Because I caught you. I caught you trying to nitpick something that is inaccurate. That's going to be impossible. Farming, yield. When the government takes over or kills the farmer because, oh, you're price gouging people, a loaf of bread shouldn't cost $600 or a hand job for a slice of bread. That's what happens during hyperinflation, is you're starving, no one's making any food because the price controls have reduced people's motivation to produce food. And now the person who's making an illegal market in bread, like rice and bread, now a slice of bread is going to cost you a blowjob. And that's where we're going. And that to me is funny. It's funny to me. It's funny because it's funny, one, because it's true. Two, if you ever read a history book, that's what happens during hyperinflation. Everyone begins to starve. And then the starvation, it's a set system to drive people to starve and die. Because utopia is just going to require 30 to 40% of the population that survived the last 30% getting killed off to die. Utopia, it's just another 30% of the population away. Utopia and the perfect everything, you're just going to need to kill 15% more people. I swear, after Larry Chiang kills 20% of the people, then my utopian system is going to begin to work. Things I used to think. You guys having a good time with this? Because why is there not yet hyperinflation in America? Have you ever wondered that? Because prices should be skyrocketing, and gas is less than $22 a gallon right now, semi-affordable. It's because the United States exports our inflation. Where are the three countries that we export inflation to hardest? That would be Canada, UK, and Australia. Why? Because those are just Americans that are more retarded than Americans. Have you met somebody from England? They let, what, 250,000 people get graped. SA. And not SA in the way that women that are in California are trying to sexually accelerate Larry Chiang. Not in the same way. I'm talking 250,000 people via the judicial system that refuses to punitively punish people who are mean to women that are under 22 years old. Half. Which is the United States exporting inflation to Australia, Canada, and the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom. What is your economic ranking if the United Kingdom were a state in the United States. The United Kingdom would rank below Mississippi. Things I used to think, oh, the UK, it must be amazing. It's the United Kingdom. Yeah. It ranks below Mississippi. And Mississippi, okay, sucks. Mississippi sucks. Oh, goodness. This guy's good. I wish he would stop using the linear cadence. However, it seems to be part of his charm. It's like a retard thinking they're onto a breakthrough discovery. Busted! 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 Oh, you lost me at your vile joke. Later. Dakota 9721. You go well. You be well. I will see you on 50 more videos. Chicago 1760 says, get 3 items at the grocery store, $38. Below California. So the vile jokes seem vile only because of this truth, which is this. You guys ready for the truth? The truth of Australia is getting screwed because Australians are retarded. Look at what you guys did during COVID. Ditto Canada. Have you ever heard the saying, never let a good crisis go to waste? Because I'm not quite sure that the government didn't create COVID. I'm not sure. But I do know that Susan Wojciechowski, who ran YouTube, she died. She died. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. I saw that whole poop show coming, which is, if the vaccine were really valuable and good for you, why are they offering you free food to trick you to taking the vaccine? Cheers to you. Cheers to you. Cheers to you. May 123J, I don't understand, and also your emoji doesn't translate. Hyperinflation is on the way. Stop calling me a Zionist billionaire. Stop. He worked his butt off to get where he is today. I'm working my butt off right here during YouTube Live. Here's your financial advantage, which is nobody is seeing this video. You should benefit from that fact. Let me repeat that. Very few people are getting to see this content. I'm not saying you should subscribe or like to support my channel. Screw supporting me. Support yourself. Save yourself financially. Help yourself monetarily. This is how you can help yourself. Is you can steal this content. Steal it. I, Larry Chiang, this isn't a trick. I, Larry Chiang, give you the intellectual property attached to this genius video. This is how to financially benefit. I'm going to go over 7 or 8 things. Things I used to think. I used to think that there's a secret club that would anoint certain people rich. Yeah, no, there's no secret club. It's just, can you go to the library? And since the library is now coming to you, maybe you could just say thank you, because that's number 3, which is you can sum this video up in 12 paragraphs. You can, number 4, there's a free within a free thing. It's called Gemini, where you can ask questions. Hey, what's this guy Larry Chiang talking about? Me, I'm Larry Chiang. Things I used to think. I used to think that computers would do the work for you. It does, but not quite all the way. The last thing you're going to need to do is distribution work. I have talked to countless Silicon Valley executives. The thing that you can't replicate is distribution. That's what you're doing in each one of these steps to make money distributing my genius shiitake, which is this sixth step. You're going to look at the calendar and you're going to connect some future calendar date with some snippet that I've said. This is every exploit has been exploited, every scam has been used. What? None of the exploits has been explored. None of the future ones. Every scam has been used. So when you're saying that, you're not understanding that what I have two words for you: library card. And do I dare say Chicago Public Library card? Because you haven't leveraged that scam yet. You're calling the library of Larry Chiang a scam. You're calling the library that is the future library of genius stuff that I've said, you're calling it not a library. It's 7:39 a.m. Thank you. I know, I get a little too excited. So there you go. He returned his library card. He said it was insufficient because he was black. Or just period. I don't mean to rip on black people, but black people really hate the library card. They really do. We really do. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Sometimes I forget my ethnicity. Sometimes I forget how good I am at basketball. I'm so good at basketball, I gotta be black because I am sandbagging being black. He returned his library card. He said it was insufficient. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Continuing on with conveying money and transferring money. So, by default, most people are actually gay and retarded. Both me and Jesus are right now crying. Maybe Jesus could have better outlined the fact that he could have done a better job outlining. Things I used to think. Or you're not going to make purring, snorting noises. So I'm recommending that you steal content from me in order to prime the pump of money. Pumping. This is the money pump. Oh my God. This is a ploy to get you to load up 500 web pages. Currently you have 0. Maybe you have 5 Instagram posts from 4 years ago, back when you used to be heterosexual or trying. So today is 5 web pages. Today's 5. Next Monday will be another 5 web pages. That's your game plan. Do you like your game plan? I love your game plan. There you go. Somebody has got their testosterone reattached. Are you angry? Are you angry that I'm not making you a moderator? Are you angry? Are you angry? Don't be angry. Why don't you just benefit? Why don't you just drop the anger and the baggage and just benefit? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Which is understanding, which is understanding us getting better at networking. What is networking? That's what social media was meant to do, is to help us with networking. But what happened? What happened? The opposite of what it was the opposite of what was intended. Because what was intended was to make networking easier. By making everything so easy, it got hard. That's not a snafu, that is a observation, which is when you made the networking so easy, it became hard and people got disconnected. Do you feel disconnected? A little bit? Solution, Web 12. The solution of, can you connect with what people are saying and then financially improve? The boss babe syndrome of, I used to expect the best as an entitlement of, it was always just going to get better and better. But what you were operating under was a web of woven engineering concepts in order to demoralize you. Because what's the most demoralizing thing that you can do to a entitled female? Offer hope. That's why people talk about this as a cult, but it's not a cult. It's just a unplugging of your Stockholm syndrome. Because Stockholm, it affects Chinese people different from how it affects Caucasian and Black people and Latina people. Cheers to you guys. Cheers to you guys on Magnificent Monday. So we don't want to just look at longingly the fact that, hey, we did six figures one time. We want to look at it as maybe the time that you did earn six figures, you didn't earn it. Maybe you thinking that you got to a financial plateau that was you peaking. Don't think of it as peaking. Think of it as a base camp that you sniffed. Think of it as, no matter how difficult the game is, realizing that the game that you're in offers a return, which is, what game are you playing? If you're playing Web 2 and suffering for subscribers and likers, it's not going to end well for you. That's playing the last game. Playing the next game is where you say, what game, where's the puck going? Where's this whole schema headed towards? What is a way to do the equivalent of Dave Asprey's biohacking? What's the equivalent? The equivalent to biohacking is Web 12 hacking, social media hacking. Biohacking, you're hacking your biology and your brain heart coherence, your heart, your mind body connection. Chapter 5, becoming supernatural financially, where maybe you've never had a mentor, where maybe you've never had a healthy relationship with the idea of male dominance, because the male isn't dominating because they were born male. That's your penis envy leaking out. What you're not seeing is the fact that men have been required to play the game on hard mode for quite some time now. And guess what? When the game gets harder, who's going to get better? That would be Larry Chiang. You thought I was going to say men get better, but men aren't getting better. Men are getting to be like women in doing a gender reversal employee exercise, which is if you just claim that you're a woman, then your employment opportunities would increase. That worked temporarily until people said, that's not working. Cheers to you understanding DEI was always a psychological operation against you. So think of this as time that we're biohacking our brain, because biohacking, why is endometriosis and polycystic ovarian syndrome and autoimmune diseases Stockholm syndroming the entire population? Because Stockholm syndrome, you can't sell me on the fact that my penis is defective. It's not defective because my penis is attached to my brain, is detached from video gaming. My penis is attached to my brain that's detached from porning. No porn. Porn breaks your penis. My penis is a second head that's attached to my first head that is disconnected from marijuana and alcohol usage. That's why my penis works so well, is it's just connected to my brain. So in the morning, my erection isn't just a boner erection where the flag is flagpole maxing. Hashtag flagpole maxing. It's not just that. It is that. But it's also, can I fuck the intellect that is my brain? So I'm taking my swollen Johnson, I'm taking my blood-filled erection, and I'm rechanneling some of that up my thoracic bone, up my spinal column, directly into my brain. Is this me being high on L-theanine? Jim Quick, Limitless, page 344? You tell me, because I don't want you to shoot L-theanine into my mouth. I want to drink it naturally from green tea. Business model. You might be wondering, oh my God, is this where he's going to sell me on his Patreon? Or is there going to be a Discord server to go get disjointed at? No, this is it. This is the value. This is the $50,000 course. You're welcome. Because it's not raw, unfiltered, and unstructured. It's not filtered, curated, not raw dogging the curated content within the structure of 14 components. Component 1, you're damned if you do listen to YouTube curators. You're damned if you don't. Here's the answer, which is segment 2, which is treasure management, treasure development. Can you watch one YouTube video from a content curator, content producer, social media maker, and become financially above zero? This is the concept of, can you financially benefit from watching one YouTube video? Because if the answer is you've watched 8,000 YouTube videos and you've never benefited one time, that's a big problem. Let's zoom in on that, which is segment 3. Can you paste copy something genius that I did? Can you paste copy something genius that I did? You should be able to. You should be able to. You should be able to. Why have you never paste copied something? I, Larry Chiang, transfer my intellectual property so that way you can paste copy something that I did. Here's an example. Hashtag EUTWM PPM, which is, can you engineer up a tidal wave of momentum perpetual promotion machine at TechCrunch in September and at the AI conference before TechCrunch, that pre-rolls TechCrunch? You can, you will, and you're moist. You can, you will, and you're moist at the concept of paste copying hashtag EUTWMPPM. As you paste copy hashtag HTG, HFA, OTR. Do you like how I'm nailing my inhales? So that way I could do YouTube Live all day and not be tired afterwards because I'm mouth breathing. Watch for when you're networking segment 4. When the YouTube content creator is mouth breathing, they're going to be bursting with extinction energy, which is they can't self-sustain. They get tired at the end of the video because they're not breathing. Have you heard athletes get tired out prematurely because they're not breathing enough? Right? That's why some people are tired and feminine. Number 5, too tired and too feminine and too testosterone driven to get a mentor. That is you and I with mentorship. Segment number 5. A mentor lubricates where you're going and how you're going to get there. This is a first step in mentorship. Segment 6. This is something that AI will not be able to do. AI can do your job. What AI can't do is they can't do distribution. You're going to need to do segment 6, which is writing 12 sentences, Web 12, and then distributing what you believe to be a problem-solving component. All of these videos that are seemingly low view, low popularity are at 100% efficacy, meaning my videos, they work 100% of the time, every time. And the reason I'm staring deeply and longingly into your soul is because tell me a point where I'm wrong. Tell me a point where I'm wrong, because that's your advantage to distribute a solution. This, now you got to find a person with a problem. You see, AI can't do the distribution work. Artificial intelligence is artificially somewhat intelligent. It's like having a Jewish, Pakistani, or an Indian person solving problems for you. They'll maybe solve your problem, but they're going to make some other problems. Here's the problem that AI can't solve, which is distribution, which is just get away from the Ponzi scheme, just get away from some clearly labeled thing that's a solution. Just solve the problem, and then after you determine the problem to solve, confirm the economic value of the problem that you are about to solve. These two things are very difficult for other people. Very difficult. Why is it very difficult? Because listening is broken. Why is it difficult? Because people are having a hard time processing information. How are you not benefiting from AI that you've made $0. That's a problem, is that you're a business virgin at the time where you don't need money to make money. Business virgin, $0 on YouTube. Business virgin, $0 solving problems, because you're not solving problems. You're hoping for a job that somebody gives you. You're hoping for, beyond hope, that someone's just going to bail you out in the same way that the bottom 20% and the top 20% are constantly getting bailed out. That's the form of capitalism that we're experiencing right now. It's not even capitalism. It's going to break your penis, break your brain. Segment 7, mislabeling things, calling a penis a vagina, calling capitalism socialism, calling masculinity toxic, calling the wrong thing, calling the wrong things with the wrong words. Do you even know what gaslighting even means? This is the truth, which is, knowing this, it should help you succeed 100% of the time, every time. Segment 8 is karma. Segment 8 is karma. Segment 8, karma. Karma can be tracked, measured, and channeled. Karma. Will you douche tithe 20% of the money that you make because you did not deserve this money? I gave you protocols from segment 3 to paste copy. You're welcome. Segment 9, entrepreneurship. We're all needing to be entrepreneurs. I'm happy. I'm happy because you're ready and I got you ready. 10. Segment 10 is 2 chapters, which is chapter 14 and chapter 4. It's how to read and the case studies that are associated to being able to read and process information faster. The advanced portion of segment 10 is OODA loop. Observe, orient, decide, act. 11, failing forward. Segment 11 is being able to chapter 11, fail forward. It's not chapter 11, bankruptcy. You're too poor to think about bankruptcy. 12, a dozen street smart things to do. I'll leave it at that, but I'll also leave you with over 4,800 videos that are incredibly street smart. For example, your credit score, which you've given up on. For example, street smart nature of dog management, of puppy management. So instead of monetizing by delegating to woke people on monetization, why don't we monetize you in the way that this is monetized? Because you thinking that I'm going to sell ads that psychologically operate against you would be you not understanding how monetization works. 13, crazy counterintuitive truths. 14, you're not damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You actually want to go to Stanford Business School, but as a guest lecturer, not as a attendee.